Morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We'll give 1 minute. We'll give 1 minute just to allow anyone else just to join in. Otherwise, after that, they can join part of the webinar and can watch it back afterwards as well. So just to let you all know, it's being recorded this morning and will be available afterwards if you want to recap or you want to pass it on to someone else in the team or a colleague to have a look at afterwards. And today is about understanding what TrustMark are and the benefits involved in it. The KBSA are a scheme provider for TrustMark, which is a facility to allow our members to be members of TrustMark. You have to go through a scheme provider, and so we're basically accredited and approved for that. And that means that obviously we pay a fee for that and our members get it free of charge as part of their membership. So if you are a member and want to know more about the benefits, this is for you. If you're not a member of TrustMark already, you haven't ticked the box or you haven't joined, then have a look today because it's well worth it. Being the only government endorsed scheme, having that extra badge on the window, an extra level of support is really useful. And at the end, there'll be a Q&A if you've got any questions, and Ashley will be available afterwards. He'll put his contact details, and obviously you can reach out to the KBSA. But I'll stop talking. I'm going to pass you over to Ashley to start the webinar.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Ashley. I'm Scheme Development Manager at TrustMark. So I'm the key point of contact for the KBSA. So you may have seen me at some of the previous KBSA events and been on previous webinars that I've delivered as well. And the real kind of importance is to make sure that you have some further clarity regarding who TrustMark are, where we sit and what we do. So why have the KBSA decided to be a scheme provider? Because they've got to pay for the privilege and they've also got to undergo routine audit and checks. So they've got to jump through hoops to be in that situation, but then also to find out benefits and perks that they then pass on to you as members of the KBSA as well. So I do have some slides that I'm going to go through, and as Richard said, I will have some time for questions about the end, but hopefully I address as many questions as you have initially. So I'm just going to kind of give a bit of a brief overview. If you can't see the slides, please let me know. About TrustMark and who we are. So TrustMark, we are a not-for-profit company. So we're really about making sure that when customers, homeowners, landlords, tenants, whoever use a business that has TrustMark registration, that they understand that there's been substantial checks and things behind the scenes that they don't necessarily need to be aware of, but it's really to showcase that there's quality there and care for them as a customer. And this really is about giving that kind of level of clarity for you so that you can utilize this when you're selling your services from your showroom about this is why we charge more for XYZ, not just the product, but it's all the other elements of deliverables as well. So really, I'm just going to go over and cover how you can utilize some of these to your advantage. There's also some documents as well that I'll briefly speak over just to kind of give you a bit more of a flavor as to what we've created for the KBSA and the members as a whole. Just to give a bit of context, there are 42, soon to be in the next week or so, 43 scheme providers underneath TrustMark. So they undergo stringent audit and checks, and not every trade association that wants to come to us to be a scheme provider is applicable for it or don't pass it. So it's a very big achievement and feat that the KBSA have been a scheme provider for quite a few years now as well. There's approximately 18,000 registered businesses. Some of them are substantial businesses, which cover the whole of the UK. Others are small one-person businesses. And we approximate through CITB data, there's approximately 75, but that could be as much as 100,000 tradespeople that work kind of under the TrustMark umbrella due to subcontracting and the likes. So through that kind of wider family of scheme providers, we've got a whole suite of trades. So for any of you that are thinking about expanding out from your current kind of coverage, there may also be a place in TrustMark where you can look to try and grow that as well. And we obviously work with the range of scheme providers that cover all of these trades and obviously many, many more to really make sure that the standard is there if somebody is using a TrustMark registered business. So just because somebody does a bit of garden landscaping, they can't just come in. They have to come through a verified route with substantial competence in place. So initially, really, I'm just going to kind of cover the TrustMark, where we sit and where KBSA sit, where yourself sit, and the reasons why. And even though that says consumer protection, I would say it's about protection as a whole. It's not just protecting the consumer, the homeowner, the landlord, whomever, your customer. It's about protecting you, protecting any installers that you have on your books or subcontractors that you use, any local businesses to use that you use every now and then. It's about protecting everybody in the picture, because really it's about making sure the job is done right, but everybody involved, if the right intentions in play, etc., everybody needs to be protected. I'm not going to read through this, but just a very quick overview. What the government hold us accountable to is a master license agreement, and you're more than welcome to download it from our website and read it. It is a pretty hefty document. And then we hold, as TrustMark, the scheme provider, the KBSA, accountable against our framework, which is also available online. And there you'll see a list of clauses and things that we check KBSA do and have in place to be a scheme provider. Some of which is also how they conduct checks and how they onboard members. So the kind of hoops that you've had to jump through to be a KBSA member. What they've done really, really well is over the years, we have worked together to really streamline that process. And this is why you're in a fab position as a KBSA member, where KBSA gift TrustMark membership. Because a lot of other scheme providers out there, they do everything for their membership. So you've jumped through all the hoops, you've paid the fee, and then you're finally a member of that scheme. And then in order to get TrustMark, you have to jump through a load more hoops and more pieces of the puzzle and pay more fees. So KBSA members, you're in a prime kind of a brilliant situation where you've already jumped through every hoop you need to. So please take advantage of the benefits that I'm going to cover shortly. Regarding helping to protect you, there is a code of conduct which states that if you use installers and businesses to go in and do the works, or you subcontract out, that they're in essence going to behave themselves and adhere to obviously UK law. And then there's also a customer charter as well. Now, both of those documents are trading standard approved written documents, which in a sense means that if there was a worst case scenario, a legal case happened and it escalated, because you have been a TrustMark registered business and you've adhered to the code of conduct, customer charter, etc., somebody from trading standards will also support you, which is a very strong caveat to have if anything ever got to that place. Our toolbox, the three core documents here, as I said, these pieces will be shared out afterwards. There's a bit of an overview of the framework that we audit KBSA against, the code of conduct, which is obviously about consumer protection and business practice, and then the customer charter, what we expect of those customers. And obviously they're available online as well to look through. There are four key pillars to TrustMark. There's one about quality assurance. We are custodians of the government's database for properties. So a lot of work that gets completed through TrustMark schemes, businesses, gets inputted into our database. There is talk as well regarding the future proofing of our column about that data, and looking at kitchens and starting to get data regarding kitchen installs so that there is more clarity for disputes. An example of which is if a dispute escalated where a marble worktop had, fallen down, then who is it that actually didn't do the install properly? Is it the specialist marble worktop installer, or is it the kitchen unit installer, or is it the person who screed the floor initially? Where's the kind of the book held? So there's talks there that we're having with KBSA and other industry representatives to talk about, well, actually, how do we look to start helping the industry to kind of just generally help people to do their jobs better and not get stuck in admin or disputes and things like that. Obviously, for a customer point of view, the protection is a key pillar, and access to those trades to get that in, and the protection piece is really about the kind of support of the dispute resolution as well. So not only do you as a business, a member, a TrustMark registered business, have the trading standards elements that feed into it as well, but really it's the really crystal clear dispute process. Obviously, if a homeowner had a dispute, they'd come to yourselves first. You would look to try and close it down, get that remediated if anything was needed. If it escalated further, it would come to the KBSA as our scheme provider, who obviously have processes and pieces in play. And then let's just say it went even further, where that customer really wasn't happy about something. Then there is actually alternative dispute resolution there, and that is an ombudsman service that TrustMark pay annually to be a part of, and it's an option then for that service to be provided to pull that headache away from you and be like, right, it's going into triage, it's now being dealt with them, so it doesn't need to go to small claims, and look to try and close it down that way. So it's another way to take any headache that may exist and pull it away so you can get on with installing kitchens and generating revenue, because that's ideally where you want to be investing your time. Information about that is on our website as well. So really the key other area that I want to talk about is the membership, the benefits. Why is KBSA part of us? Obviously, those support avenues about protection help protect KBSA, help protect their members, help protect the homeowner. But really, what other benefits are there in play? The fact that KBSA gift it, in a way, just take advantage of some of these benefits and have it. So regarding between us and the KBSA, we have structured meetings. So, for example, had some meetings last week with the team at KBSA speaking about 2026 and beyond, where we look to try and grow together, how we look to help with growth with all of the members. So really, they're relaying to me as well about, right, these are the current trends that are happening. These are the upcoming events, like the one coming up, the big KBB event. This is what's kind of happening. This is how you can support, etc. So there's a lot of routine pieces. We do social media posts and sometimes do spotlights on businesses as well and promotions. And some of you that have your eye on social media would have seen that Richard featured on some of our videos that we filmed regarding case studies of TrustMark registered businesses and kind of benefits and perks and where we are delivering that high standard of work. And as I know, KBSA members all do. So there's a lot of kind of collaboration that really help generate interest and additional kind of organic growth of marketing as well that feed in. We have an offer page that we can send out as well. That this isn't all of them. This is just a couple of logos, but there are a lot of benefits that we've procured for TrustMark registered businesses on how they can save money. So, for example, that Motia there, they do discount on fuel, but they also have software and services regarding if you've got electric vehicles, if you've got a fleet of vehicles. So there's scanning software to see if there's any dings or nicks and things like that. So you know that your company rental vehicles are all safe with your staff and things. There's a whole suite of benefits there to take advantage of. An example is the Melor training as well, where we procured some financial training for businesses at a quite heavily discounted price as well. There's a lot of benefits there, so please have a look. The last data point we had collectively from the whole suite last year was that on average a one-person business, so this isn't a showroom with multiple staff and maybe some installers on their books and things like that, a one-person business was saving approximately £800 to £1,000 a year by taking full advantage of all of them. I'm not saying go and do that, but please have a look, because there may be something there that you can claw back some money or at least trim down some costs. So please have a look there. So really, the benefits for you is that there's additional routes in. So not just through our website, but if we API out to any search engines and things like that, and where we do SEO work with websites for Google tracking and things, it's really driving that footfall at finding your company when people are looking for kitchen installs or inquiries about kitchens, etc. There's also, this is where we talk with government and KBSA and the likes about kind of future work. So when we're looking at the upcoming changes to landlords and things, where AWAB's laws coming in and hygiene is featuring as well. Well, that can actually mean that a lot of landlords need to do works in kitchens and things. So there might be potential routes for us to try and look at, well, actually, can we plug specific things in there with KBSA? And obviously looking at how we market to get that private funded works, which could also feed in. And obviously saving time. There's a lot of documents on our website, things like invoice tracking documents, things like that. Some of you would have already seen these because KBSA shared them out previously multiple times, but there are a lot of documents on there that you can download, just white label and use yourself to just try and save you time. Because the key thing is if you give feedback to KBSA, they give feedback to us as well. We talk about it, and if we can do something to save you time, we will do it, because the key thing is we want you out there delivering high quality kitchens into people's homes. So documents that you can find and you can take advantage of today is there is a business portal on our website. That's just a screen grab of a document that you can access through KBSA. They can share that with you, which covers all of these things. The important thing about that portal is our website data that we have shows that, yep, we do get a lot of traffic on our website. We do get a lot of searches. However, the click-throughs generally happen on businesses that have updated their portal, either with a business logo, some photos, a little blurb, whatever it is. If there's something on there, it gets a lot more traffic. So it's really important to do that. For you, it's good for you to see as well, because you get search impressions as well. So you'll be able to see, well, how many customers or people that have used the TrustMark website have searched for kitchen installs in my local area. How many times have I come up in their searches, and how many times have there been click-throughs and things like that? So that sort of data is being generated and presented in the portal. There's also quick links to the benefits, quick links to information, other wider information about potential funding and things going on. So it's really handy to just, even if you claim it, just do a little bit of tailoring and just leave it for a bit. That's fine, because you'll likely generate some phone calls and things like that through it. So please take advantage of that as well. There's, as I've already said, there's obviously the QMS documents that we let you download regarding admin and trying to save time on that. But there's lots of videos online. We've got a YouTube page, so please have a little look at that. There's webinars like this one, but also wider ones where we talk about insights and trends going on in the industry, things that may be changing at government level. There's a lot of different webinars that myself and my colleagues deliver where we talk about different pipelines and things that may fit in. There's a lot of helpful videos as well. These documents that I've screen grabbed, you can download from our site, and some of it may be interesting as well. Some of it, please use. Because it's just for you to, even if you just give it to a potential customer, say, well, you want to use us because of this, here's some documents, do that. And I even say to some people, like, even if you're not TrustMark, try to use bits of the document to help you with your basically kind of like, how you're selling your services and elements to that. If you are thinking about joining and you want to know more about the business portal, on our YouTube page and website, there is a business portal video there. It's a couple of minutes long, just shows you ins and outs and how to navigate it. So please have a little look at that. There is some business marketing that we do as well. So please have a little look, if you haven't already, at our social channels, because we do lots of little videos about things changing across the industry. And that may not just be things specific for kitchens, bathrooms, bedrooms, the wider kind of internal fittings and things like that. That may also feature in your business plans or your business model. There's also surveys and questionnaires that we do as well. And there's normally prizes and things like that as well. So like tools and technical products and things like that as well. So please have a little look. Just have a browse, interact with things if you see it there and it takes your interest. There's also an app that we have that we created with the health and safety executive. And this is at the moment focused on homeowners, on your customers. So you can tell potential customers about this, say, well, download the TrustMark app, have a little look, because as you can see from there, there is a little area about like bathrooms and kitchens, etc. And what that will really do is that just kind of gives them some questions about what to expect if I have work done. Well, you're going to expect a bit of mess. Like, first of all, you might need to get a skip. You might need to get these things. These are questions to ask. There's questions to basically give the customer, the homeowner, a little bit of almost knowledge and power about the situation, which generally leads to more sales or interaction. So a couple more screen grabs there just to show you an example, like, the checklist of important things to consider if you're having work done in your house, because there are some things that some people don't necessarily think about. So it's kind of just general kind of helpful pieces. Also, at the same time, if you're looking at the kitchen or bathroom sections, etc., and you think, oh, it'll be really helpful if you had XYZ there, let KBSA know. They can let me know. We can work together and we can get it added in to try and enhance that even further, because all of this information that's trade specific in here comes from our scheme providers. It doesn't come from us. We don't just pull it off of a website, off online. It all comes from working with our scheme providers, and that's the key thing. Anything that you report to your scheme provider, it will help us to build better products collaboratively. So how do you register with TrustMark? As I said, you're very, very fortunate the situation you are, because you've already jumped through the hoops. So you won't have a whole remit of additional things that you need to do, but you do need to have a discussion with KBSA, and they do gift it, and that's the important thing, because they encompass it in their own costings, which is very generous of them to do so. And yeah, they do all the legwork trying to meet our framework and Annex A regarding what they do, regarding how they check that you're a competent member of KBSA. And obviously, just a quick kind of overview there, just for reference point, regarding some of the membership benefits that you may not be aware of or taken advantage of through the KBSA. There's an awful lot there. And yeah, please have a chat with them if you're interested in TrustMark. And really, just to recap before I finish my slides and take any questions, really, it's, well, what do I do when I'm TrustMark? Yeah, I can take advantage of some of the benefits. I can do some of that, but actually, it's about how you sell it to the customer so that they don't go down to a showroom down the road. That's not a KBSA member. That's charging a bit less than what you are, but actually, what you're delivering is far higher standard. Well, it's that, we're TrustMark, so we've had additional checks, additional things are in play to protect you as a customer. We've got trading standards approved documents that are in play as well regarding the code of conduct. So when somebody comes into your property and does that, they're not going to do anything like, untoward, because trust me, it still happens out there. We're always working to improve standards. So through the KBSA and through TrustMark, we're looking at delivering improving kitchen installs, getting like further afield with bathroom areas as well. So there's a lot of additional things in place. So really using it. And when you mention that ombudsman element of the DRO, the dispute resolution ombudsman, you'd be surprised at how many customers really jump at that, because they go, "Oh, I've got a legal entity at the end if something goes wrong," even though the likelihood is it isn't. It's a huge selling point. And when I'm at events and I talk to people about it and I mention that, they always say to me things like, "I wish I knew about this, because I would have just used a TrustMark registered business," because they've had something go wrong and it's been not pleasant at all for them because they've sat outside. So yeah, sorry, that was a kind of like a quick kind of whistle stop over elements of TrustMark, but I really think the value is in you having a look at the benefits page, having a chat with KBSA as well, and kind of really seeing the advantages for yourself of being TrustMark registered. So because it's obviously being recorded and I know bits are coming out, one of my inboxes is there. So if there are any questions that you want to ask me direct, please feel free to come to me. I already know that some of you in the chat, I recognize some of your names, that you do have my email address. Yeah, please feel free to reach out with those elements as well. And yeah, if there's any questions, please raise your hand. There you go. Oh, nice and easy finish.
Feel free to type a question. Feel free to type a question, and if you don't want to speak, you can do that in the chat box.
Yeah, and if anything does come up, Richard, and I know that we have KBSA staff on the call as well, is please reach out to KBSA and they can always relay it to me if they cannot answer the question. However, I'm pretty certain that they can answer the question.
Oh, someone's typing.
Put up the Q&A bit, but it's not loading. There you go.
Excellent, perfect. Yeah, there's just a comment saying they weren't sure of the benefits. So thanks for the overview, which is what a lot of these webinars are about, just to make sure you're getting the best out of membership. But definitely, I think you mentioned it, Ashley, in there is get on and put your profile on there, because that's one way of obviously getting your company out there as well to more people. Obviously, you've got a profile within KBSA, but you can have one on the TrustMark side as well.
Yeah, and it's quite alarming, the sheer volume of people who don't click on profiles that don't have any images or anything. It's quite stark, the difference that of footfall. Oh, thank you for your time, everybody.
Perfect.